Have you noticed it? That strange, restless energy creeping in these last few days of September, the one that makes everything feel a little heavier, a little more intense, or even strangely exciting? You're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. There's a subtle energy shift happening right now, and it's affecting millions of people in ways you might not expect. In this video, I'm going to reveal what's really behind this shift, why it's making you feel this way, and how you can ride it instead of resist it. Trust me, understanding this could completely change the way you experience these final days of September. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these insights, and drop a comment below telling me if you felt this energy shift too. I'd love to hear your experiences. If you've been waking up these last few days feeling like something is just different, you're not imagining it. Maybe you've been more tired than usual, or you've noticed your emotions swinging in ways that don't make sense. One moment you might feel restless, the next deeply reflective, and then suddenly out of nowhere, you get a spark of inspiration, like the universe just whispered a new idea into your ear. It can feel confusing, even unsettling, when you can't quite put your finger on what's happening. But here's the truth, you're not the only one going through it. What you're experiencing is part of something much bigger than you, and once you understand what's behind it, everything begins to click into place. This isn't just about random moods or stress piling up. It's not about burnout, bad habits, or even lack of sleep, although those things can play their role. No, what's happening right now is deeper, woven into cycles that have been with us for centuries, long before our modern schedules and routines even existed. These last few days of September are not ordinary. They were never meant to be. Whether you call it an energy shift, a seasonal transition, or simply the rhythm of life itself, something powerful stirs at this exact time every single year. Most people don't notice it consciously, but we all feel it. And the fact that you've been feeling it now, that's no accident. Think about where we are in the calendar. September is a month of endings and beginnings. On one hand, it's the winding down of summer's wild, outward-facing energy. The carefree warmth, the longer days, the push to be constantly active, all of that starts to fade. On the other hand, there's this quiet but unmistakable pull toward introspection. Nature itself models this for us. The leaves begin to change color, the air shifts, the days shorten. Even if you live somewhere where the weather barely changes, you can still sense the difference. Our ancestors relied on these subtle cues to prepare for the months ahead, and even today, in our fast-paced modern world, our bodies and minds still respond to those same signals. The last 5 days of September carry a particular weight because they serve as a kind of energetic portal, a liminal space between what has been and what's about to come. It's like standing on a threshold where you can still look back at the season behind you, but you're already feeling the momentum of the one ahead. These days are like nature's whisper, urging us to pause, recalibrate, and listen. And when you don't take time to honor that shift, your body and emotions often do it for you. That's why you might feel more emotional, more restless, or even more creatively charged during this time. It's your inner compass trying to align with something greater. Now, if you've ever felt like September carries a kind of symbolic weight in your life, you're right. Think about it. Even outside of nature, our cultural rhythms reinforce this transition. In the US, September is when the school year begins, when new routines settle in, when summer vacations fade into memory, and when the countdown to the holiday season quietly begins. This collective rhythm impacts us more than we realize. Energy isn't just personal, it's also shared. When millions of people shift their focus toward change, structure, or preparation, it creates a kind of ripple effect. You can feel it, even if you can't explain it. What makes the final days of September unique is that they sit right on the other side of the equinox, that moment when day and night balance perfectly. The equinox is more than just an astronomical event. Spiritually and emotionally, it represents harmony, reflection, and a reminder that balance is not about perfection but about rhythm. We sway from one side to the other, light to dark, action to rest, expansion to contraction, and the equinox marks the pivot point. Right after that balance tips, we enter this window where everything inside us feels heightened because we're adjusting. It's the recalibration of your inner system to match the new flow of the season. That's why some people feel more tired, some more creative, and some more sensitive during this period. Your energy is literally being rewired. But here, where it gets even more interesting. Astrologically, these days are infused with significance. September closes the chapter of Virgo season and ushers us into Libra energy. Virgo is all about details, routines, and structure, while Libra is about balance, relationships, and harmony. That handoff is like shifting gears. You go from fine-tuning your inner world to looking at how you connect with others, how you balance giving and receiving, and how you find harmony in the chaos of life. Even if you don't follow astrology closely, you can feel this. Suddenly, you start thinking more about how you spend your time, who you want around you, and what balance really looks like in your everyday life. And then there's the emotional piece. Endings always stir up feelings, even when we don't consciously recognize them. September is the 9th month, and the number 9 has long been associated with completion, cycles coming full circle, and preparing for a fresh start. That's why so many people feel reflective now. You might catch yourself looking back at the year so far, asking, have I done enough? Am I where I want to be? What do I need to change before this year ends? That questioning isn't random. It's the energy of completion nudging you to acknowledge what's working and release what's not. And let's not ignore the way inspiration often sneaks in at this time. For every wave of restlessness or fatigue, there's usually a counterwave of clarity or excitement. Some of your most creative ideas may surface in late September because you're standing in that in-between space. In-between spaces are fertile, they break patterns and open doorways. That's why so many people describe this time as both confusing and inspiring. It's not just one or the other, it's both. And learning to hold both is what makes this period so transformative. So when you feel off right now, it's not because something's wrong with you, it's because something shifting for you. You're syncing up with a rhythm that's bigger than the clock, bigger than your to-do list, bigger than the little stresses of the day. You're tuning into cycles that connect every human being to the flow of life itself. It's like being in a current. You can resist it and exhaust yourself, or you can let it carry you forward into what comes next. If you've noticed yourself feeling more restless than usual, more emotional, or even strangely inspired these past few days, you're not imagining it. This shift is directly influencing the way you sleep, the way you think, and even the way you move through your day. Some people are finding that their emotions feel amplified, like little things that normally wouldn't get under their skin suddenly carry more weight. Others are having these incredibly vivid dreams that seem to come out of nowhere, dreams that feel like they're trying to tell you something, even if you can't quite put the message into words. And then there are moments of nostalgia, where memories from years ago start bubbling to the surface, almost as if your mind is pulling together loose threads to help you see the bigger picture of your own story. It's not unusual right now to feel like you want to wipe the slate clean. Maybe you suddenly feel like reorganizing your space, or maybe you catch yourself daydreaming about new routines, healthier choices, or finally taking that step you've been putting off. That urge to reset is part of this energy shift. Your inner compass knows when it's time to realign, and September's final days are famous for waking that up inside you. What makes this period so powerful is that it's not just about personal moods or habits, it's connected to something much larger. At the heart of it all is the equinox, the point where day and night balance perfectly. Even if you didn't mark the date on your calendar, your body feels it. The balance of light and darkness in the natural world carries a symbolic energy that ripples through us as humans. It's an invitation to reflect on where we're out of balance in our own lives. Are we working more than we're resting? Are we giving more than we're receiving? Are we holding on to things that no longer serve us instead of making space for what's next? Just as nature finds balance during the equinox, we're asked to find ours too. And this isn't just about symbolism. Science shows that changes in daylight affect our circadian rhythms, our hormones, and even our mood. At the same time, cultures throughout history have recognized the equinox as a sacred moment of transition, marking it with rituals of gratitude, release, and intention setting. When you combine the physical shifts happening in your body with the spiritual and cultural weight carried by this time, it's no wonder so many people feel things so intensely right now. Your energy is, quite literally, being recalibrated. Think of these final days of September as a reset button for your mind, body, and spirit. It's almost like your system knows that October is going to bring a new wave of momentum, so it's taking this moment to clear out the clutter tie up loose ends, and realign you with where you're headed. You may feel it as fatigue, as restlessness, or as sparks of creativity, but beneath the surface, what's really happening is an upgrade. You're being prepared for what comes next. What's fascinating about this shift is that it doesn't feel the same for everyone. It shows up differently depending on where you are in your life right now. For someone younger, it might feel like a restless urge to start something new, to break free of routines and dive into fresh experiences. For someone who's older, it might feel more reflective, almost like an invitation to slow down and re-examine what really matters at this stage. And for those in between, it often comes as this mix of nostalgia for what's behind and excitement for what's ahead, like standing on a bridge between two worlds. Every September brings this energy, but how we interpret it, how we feel it, is deeply colored by our personal journey. And this year, 2025, carries a unique intensity. It's not just the seasonal rhythm at work. Globally, we're living in a time where collective energy feels amplified. The pace of change in the world, technologically, socially, emotionally, has been unlike anything most of us have experienced before. This amplifies what we feel inside, so the usual September transition doesn't just whisper, it practically roars. The personal and the global are colliding in ways that make this moment feel heavier, sharper, and at the same time, more full of potential. It's like the universe is holding up a mirror, asking each of us to look honestly at where we are and where we're heading. Now, the natural instinct when you feel this kind of intensity is often to resist it. We want things to stay stable, predictable, familiar, but resistance is what creates the struggle. Instead, what if you chose to align with this energy? What if, instead of fighting the restlessness or brushing off the emotions, you leaned into them? That's where transformation happens. It doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as journaling for a few minutes each night to process the emotions and the dreams that surface. It could be grounding yourself, taking a walk outside, sitting under a tree, breathing deeply until you feel your body come back into balance with the earth. It could mean finally letting go of that one old habit that you know is holding you back, using the energy of this transition as your fresh start. Setting intentions right now is especially powerful. Think of it this way: these final days of September are like an energetic reset button, and whatever you choose to focus on, whatever you choose to release or call in, carries extra weight. If you lean into this, it can feel as though the universe is giving you a gentle but undeniable push in the right direction. This isn't pressure, it's opportunity. It's a window of time where change feels more supported, more aligned, more natural than at almost any other point in the year. And hidden inside these final days is a message that's easy to miss if you're too caught up in the chaos of everyday life. The message is that you're part of a larger cycle. You're not drifting randomly through your days, you're moving in rhythm with something much bigger than yourself. The fatigue, the emotions, the inspiration, they're not here to confuse you or weigh you down. They're here to remind you that growth always comes with transition. That release is just as important as creation. That endings are never just endings. They're the preparation for beginnings. So instead of fearing the changes you feel right now, let yourself recognize them for what they are: an invitation. An invitation to grow, to release, to realign, and to prepare for what's next. September's final days are not a burden. They're a gift, a moment when the universe opens a door just wide enough for you to step through if you choose. What makes this moment even more powerful is that it isn't just about you. This shift is collective. All across the world, millions of people are feeling similar waves of restlessness, emotion, or inspiration. That's why when energy peaks like this, we see it mirrored not only in our personal lives, but in the collective sphere too. Social tensions rise. Unexpected events suddenly unfold. Entire groups of people seem to be moving in sync with one another, even if they don't realize it. It's not coincidence, it's resonance. When human beings experience the same energetic currents at once, the collective energy amplifies the effect. You can feel it in the conversations around you, in the headlines, even in the subtle way people carry themselves at work or in your community. It's as if the whole planet exhales at the same time, and in that breath, things shift. But there's something especially unique about the end of September, and that's the way it triggers the breaking of old cycles. Think of it like an illusion dissolving right before your eyes. Patterns you've been stuck in for months, or even years, suddenly reveal themselves for what they are. It might come as a flash of clarity, like finally realizing that a relationship you've been holding on to is actually draining you more than supporting you. Or maybe it shows up in your work life, where the dissatisfaction you've been brushing aside suddenly becomes undeniable, forcing you to question whether you're really on the path you want to be on. Sometimes it's subtler, like realizing that little daily habit you've clung to isn't helping anymore and may actually be slowing you down. Whatever the form, it feels as though the universe has flipped on the light in a room you've been sitting in the dark. And once the light is on, you can't go back to pretending you don't see what's there. This is why the energy right now can feel both disruptive and liberating. On one hand, it pulls away the comfort of old illusions. On the other, it gives you the gift of clarity. That's the September illusion breaking apart, the invitation to finally let go of what no longer serves you so you can step into something better. And if you're wondering how you can tell whether you're aligned with this shift, the signs are usually pretty clear once you pay attention. Alignment often shows up as sudden bursts of motivation, almost like you wake up with a new drive you didn't have the day before. It can feel like an idea drops into your mind out of nowhere, sparking creativity or giving you a fresh perspective on something you've been stuck on. Sometimes alignment feels like lightness, like a weight you've been carrying finally lifts because you decided to release it. And for many people, it shows up as synchronicities, repeating numbers on the clock, meaningful coincidences, or unexpected opportunities landing in your lap right when you've been thinking about them. But when you resist the shift, it feels very different. Resistance often shows up as fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix, or as anxiety that lingers beneath the surface without a clear cause. You might find yourself clinging to routines that no longer bring satisfaction, holding tighter to old versions of yourself simply because change feels uncomfortable. Resistance isn't failure. It's just your body and mind trying to maintain control when the universe is asking you to loosen your grip. The contrast between alignment and resistance is what makes this period so important. It shows you where you're ready to flow and where you're still holding back. And if you're paying attention, those signs become your roadmap, getting you through the shift instead of leaving you confused by it. As these final days of September unfold, there's a sense that something bigger is quietly preparing itself in the background. Think of it like the calm before the next wave. The energy right now is laying the groundwork for what's about to arrive in October. If September is the shedding, the clearing, the release of everything that no longer fits, then October is the stepping forward, the new chapter where growth begins to take shape. There's a subtle momentum building, almost like the universe is saying, "Get ready, what comes next is worth it." You can feel it if you pay attention, a ripple in your emotions, your motivation, and even your thoughts, all hinting at changes just over the horizon. And because this energy sets the stage so deliberately, it leaves you with a sense of anticipation, a gentle nudge to stay present and watch closely, because the next month holds opportunities that are aligned with this exact moment of preparation. Part of what makes late September so unique is the way it acts like an emotional cleanse. It's as if the universe hands you a natural detox for your feelings, allowing everything buried beneath the surface, old fears, unresolved issues, and lingering doubts, to bubble up so they can finally be addressed. Some of these feelings may feel uncomfortable at first, or they may catch you by surprise, but that doesn't mean something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it's completely natural. The energy of this time is designed to bring clarity, to shine light on what has been hidden, so that you can release it consciously and step forward lighter and more aligned. Think of it as nature's way of giving your mind and heart a deep clean, clearing the mental clutter and creating space for what's coming next. Alongside this emotional detox comes heightened intuition and awareness. You might notice that your gut instincts are sharper than usual, that sudden insights appear in the middle of your day, or that your dreams feel more vivid and meaningful. Even small, seemingly random signs, a chance encounter, a fleeting thought, a number that keeps showing up, can carry messages for you right now. The key is paying attention. The more you listen to your intuition, the more it guides you toward decisions and actions that are aligned with this current shift. What feels subtle or coincidental today may turn out to be exactly the guidance you need for tomorrow. This period is subtle but powerful. It's a time when your inner world and the world around you are aligning in ways that prepare you for change, growth, and clarity. The emotions you feel, the insights you gain, and the instincts that emerge are all part of a greater rhythm, a rhythm that invites you to step into your next chapter with awareness and intention. Part of why this period feels so intense is because it's deeply connected to nature itself. Even if you live in a city or a climate where the seasons don't feel dramatic, your body and mind are still sensitive to the subtle changes around you. The days are growing shorter, the nights cooler. And the air carries a different rhythm that our ancestors long ago relied on to guide their routines. These shifts in the environment mirror the inner shifts you're experiencing. That restlessness, that emotional intensity, or the sudden sparks of inspiration aren't just in your head, they're in harmony with the world outside. The beauty of this is that you can consciously tune into it. Spending time outside, feeling the breeze, walking barefoot on grass or sand, or simply sitting quietly and observing the subtle changes around you can help your mind and body align with these seasonal currents. Grounding yourself like this allows the energy to flow instead of stagnating, making the transitions easier to navigate and more productive. Even a few minutes a day spent in nature can reset your energy, sharpen your intuition, and remind you that you're part of a larger rhythm that includes everything from the rustle of leaves to the shifting light at dusk. And when you align with this natural energy, it becomes a powerful tool for setting intentions. The final days of September aren't just about releasing what no longer serves you, they're also a rare window for planting the seeds of what comes next. Whether it's starting a new habit, visualizing a goal, or simply clarifying what you want to bring into your life, now is the perfect time to begin. The universe is more receptive during this period, and your own energy is more malleable, giving you a unique chance to shape the next chapter of your life. It's as if the cosmos itself is handing you a gentle, yet unmistakable invitation to step forward intentionally, with clarity and purpose. By paying attention to nature and consciously using this time to plan, reflect, and set intentions, you transform what might otherwise feel like a restless or confusing period into a catalyst for growth. The shifts you feel are not obstacles, they're signposts, guiding you toward your next steps, preparing you for what's about to unfold, and reminding you that your energy is part of something far bigger than yourself. And there you have it, the secret energy shift that's been quietly shaping the last days of September. Now that you know what's happening, you can move through it with more awareness, clarity, and maybe even a little excitement for what's ahead. I'd love to hear how this shift is showing up in your life, so drop a comment below and share your experience. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos where we explore these hidden energies and how they affect us every day. Remember, you're not alone in feeling this, and together we can navigate it with curiosity and calm.